Yes, thank you. So, Pakistan, US ki side to yaw ko. And on the question of why do the United States of America need Pakistan? And why do India did not go with Pakistan or USSR? So, Asigi say, I think I've talked about it before, but nevertheless, I'll just repeat it again here. Asida Karinar, you look at the map of Pakistan. So, Asigi Matamasida, if you remember, in 1940-50s, or late 47, early 50s, Paudi, till 1979, what we have to remember is that Iran was still under the spear of US. So Iran say Asidaniko, Irani map to the this is an old map telling an so this is just to give an idea, not an accurate map. International relationship explained down was map representation not an accurate map. So till 1979, Iran was under the sphere of United States of America. So Iran said the monarchy ko Shah of Iran ruled Orambani, and Iran was under the sphere of US influence. And then in 1979, the Karitaure. But before coming to 1979, there was this tussle between the two superpowers, right? The United States of America and the United States of America and USSR. So, both the newly emerging countries were either joining both of the parties, and India chose to follow the policy of non-alignment. As mine labor context Afghanistan to a greater extent come under the influence of USSR because Tajikistan, Afghanistan, countries, Uzbekistan, Turkmenistan, Kazakhstan, I think they're all part of USSR. So Afghanistan come under the sphere of influence of USSR. So in this scenarios, in 1979, Iran, which is here, is still under the sphere of United States, sphere of influence of United States of America. Why United States of America is in West Asia is the simple reason is first is economy because of the oil, and the second is that the ensuing Cold War between the USA and United States of America. As mine like the 1979 the Iranian Revolution led by Khomeini. The Iran monarchy they established an Islamic Republic. Iran throw away the yoke of United States of America, or in a better word, we can better say that Iran no more remain in the US sphere of influence. But USA need to keep up the game, right? They cannot just give up on this competition with with USSR, and also they need to keep a check on USSR. And Pakistan by 1954, I think they're already in the United States of America camp. They already joined the CETO and CENTO by that time. So, and in 1979, we also know that USSR tried to directly intervene in Afghanistan, and they invaded Afghanistan in 1979. So, and then 1979, the Afghanistan to USSR invade Tawshile. On top of that, Iran also went out of USA sphere of influence. USA cannot just let go. USA has to intervene in Afghanistan to check on Russia. And you look at the map of Pakistan, what you see is that Pakistan lies very close to, this is part of USSR, okay, Tajikistan and all of this before, USSR and China, both communist country. Aduna, they need Pakistan, United States of America at that time. So through Pakistan, they intervene in Afghanistan. So, but why am I bringing in this when I'm talking about India and Pakistan relationship? I'm bringing in this the political scenarios, the brief political scenarios of that time in dealing with India-Pakistan relationship, because it has implications on India's relationship with United States of America, or with China, or with USA, or United States of, or with India and Afghanistan, or Pakistan and India itself. As we know, Pakistan is a poor country. Who do you think is funding all their military hardware? From where? Who is subsidizing this? Of course, Pakistan also has strong capability, but the element of external support also encouraged Pakistan, or gave a leverage to Pakistan in formulating the policies towards India. So now coming to India and Pakistan specific, we know that. So, and also because of this political calculations, Kashmir issue, we will see that the Western countries, USA in particular, supported Pakistan on the issue of Kashmir most of the time till very recently. So that is why I'll come to the later. Aduna, because when you have a major power behind you, backing you, and supporting you on your claim in Kashmir or on any border dispute with your neighbors, you are definitely encouraged. And then at least the moral support, and you have more leeways to operate with regards to India. So India and Pakistan relationship asida major bone of contention we know the history of these two countries, partition from the same subcontinent, and we have the blooded partition with exchange of population, between these two newly formed countries. And then we have the issue of Jammu and Kashmir. So main contention as of now, the main point of conflict or issues between India and Pakistan as it stands today is the issue of Jammu and Kashmir. So Jammu and Kashmir, yes. So the issue of Jammu and Kashmir is like, and the second is first is J&K, third is water, fourth is Sir Creek. So these are the main issues as of now. Asian country so Jammu and Kashmir issues we know that it is because of, we know I think explained in class about Jammu and Kashmir ascension to India when we are talking about internal security. But nevertheless, if anyone has missed that class, the issue is on partition. Jammu and Kashmir has three options: either to join Pakistan, India, or remain independent. So Pakistan and the demography of Jammu and Kashmir is such that the majority of the population is Muslims, but the ruler of Jammu and Kashmir is Hindu. So Pakistan being formed on the theory of two-nation theory, believe that Jammu and Kashmir being a Muslim majority, Muslim-dominated state should naturally join with Pakistan. But Maharaja Hari Singh was indecisive during that time, either to join Pakistan or India. And then during those times, there was also this personality by the name of Sheikh Abdullah, right? So he was also leading a movement against the monarchy during that time. So these are the three actors during those days. In fact, four actors: Maharaja Hari Singh, Sheikh Abdullah, Pakistan, and India. So in this, Pakistan fearing that Jammu and Kashmir will join India, and believing that Kashmir being a Muslim majority state should be part of Pakistan, they invaded Pakistan, Jammu and Kashmir. Military operation launched under the command with a combination of their regular armies and the tribesmen of that area. So when this military offensive was launched, the king of Jammu and Kashmir, Hari Singh, signed the instrument of accession with the government of India, saying that Jammu and Kashmir will be part of India. And to this, the other actors that I talk about, Sheikh Abdullah also supported India's accession, Kashmir accession to India. So by that accession, Jammu and Kashmir is already part of India. So then Indian forces moved into Jammu and Kashmir, fought back the offensive from Pakistani side. And as they were pushing back the Pakistani offensive, Nehru in that time, some said it is a blunder, some said it is a political necessity of that time, some said it is his idealism, whatever the case may be, took the case to United Nations. So United Nations brokered a ceasefire. So we signed that agreement. So by that agreement, it was agreed that there will be plebiscite in Jammu and Kashmir. But the condition to hold that plebiscite is that Pakistan should withdraw its force from the ceasefire line from the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And on satisfaction, India also has to withdraw from Jammu and Kashmir. And then plebiscite will take place. But that never happened. So plebiscite never took place, and Jammu and Kashmir issue still remains today. So Jammu and Kashmir issue is solved out. So it cannot be solved. It is not solved. I will not say I mistake that I say it cannot be solved. It is still not yet solved. It still remains a dispute. So with Pakistan, we have already fought how many wars? In 1947-48, war and then in 1965 we fought one war. In 1971 we fought another war. In 1919 the Kargil conflict. So I'll go in brief into a little bit of this conflict between these two nations. So 1947 and 48, we know that this is because of the incursion that I talked about, offensive that I talked about for capture of Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir is an instrument of accession signed aggression from their side first on the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and later on are pushed back after the instrument of accession. In 1965, 1965 war, if you remember, in 1962, we have a conflict with China, and then we were in fact humiliated. We lost very badly. So Pakistan have this thinking that, and our first Prime Minister Nehru has also passed away. Lal Bahadur Shastri was on the helm. So the Pakistan establishment made these calculations that they will infiltrate terrorists militants in the belly of Jammu and Kashmir. So, or that militants, either armies or militants, that it's still an issue. But the idea is they will infiltrate these militants into the state of Jammu and Kashmir. So when this infiltration happens, or when these people whom they have infiltrated in Jammu and Kashmir, they will raise a voice of revolt, call for revolt against the state of India. And then they made a miscalculation that in the belief that the people of Jammu and Kashmir will raise against India in support of those who are infiltrated in the state of Jammu and Kashmir. And then Jammu and Kashmir will be cut off, and Jammu Kashmir will be part of Pakistan, or will be cut off from India. That was their calculation. And what made their calculation, and what led them come to that calculation, is their belief or their underestimation of India and the recent performance of Indian armed forces or Indian establishment, in fact, not as a whole, in the Indo-China conflict, India-China conflict of 1962. So, and that the name of that operation was Operation Gibraltar. Yeah, there was the name of the operation was Operation Gibraltar. But what happened is, to their dismay, it was in fact the population of Jammu and Kashmir who handed over these militants, or who gave the handed over and gave the information to the security establishments about these militants of who was infiltrated. So Operation Gibraltar failed. So, but even after that, they did not hold back. They did not realize that it's not doable. So what then they launched an operation, full-scale war in 1965 by the name of Operation Grand Slam. So wait, I see that yeah, Operation Grand Slam. So I see that the military offensive across the border. We fought war in around this sector, Rajasthan, Gujarat side, so we fought war, but that's not important to us. So what is important is military offensive by the name of the code name of that operation was, I think, Operation Grand Slam. Yes. So the Pakistan celebrated their, I think, Army Day or something, or National Army Day or something like that. I don't remember exactly the date, but they celebrated this 1967 war in memory of, they say it's a victory day or something. For them, it's a victory. But if we look strictly as to who the victor and who the loser is, we can well say India win, but by most conservative estimation, we can at least, it will not be wrong to say that it was a stalemate, at best, at the least, at best, India won. Why? Because the aim of Pakistan to sever Kashmir from India was not achieved. And it was in this battle that Indian army almost was at the doorstep of Lahore. We almost reached Lahore. So that is the war of 1965. And 1971, I think I've talked about this creation of Bangladesh. I will not repeat again. So, and then again in 1991, Kargil conflict. What they tried to do was they tried to cut off the national highway connecting Kargil to Leh Ladakh, and then cut off the supply line and sever Jammu and Kashmir. That was the idea. So that is the conflict between India and Pakistan. So we have issue in Jammu and Kashmir, and then we have issues in Siachen glaciers. We have issues of water sharing between India and Pakistan. We have issue in Sir Creek, and we have the issue of terrorism. So now coming to water. So if you look at the map of Pakistan, you will know that, and that is why, because you will know that Indus water is the major, Indus River and its tributaries is the major source of water for the state of Pakistan. So Indus water is of a strategic importance to them. So they need this water. So some commentators, even security analysts, even made a guess, prediction, or I will not say prediction, but made a comment that perhaps the next war between India and Pakistan could be on water. So, and that is not a wild guess for me, because it is a possibility. If we look at the demand for water in Pakistan and the availability of water in Pakistan, and if we look at the major source of water in Pakistan, then it's a possibility. But almost all the major river of Pakistan, the major river of Pakistan is Indus and its tributaries. All of them, almost all of them, starts from either India or passes through India. So I think in 1960s, we have this agreement by the name of a treaty by the name of Indus Water Treaty. So Indus Water Treaty, Sida, we come to an agreement that the three rivers, the Western River will be, and this is a homework, okay, for you, Indus Water Treaty. please read up on Indus Water Treaty. So I'll not say what are the rivers, what are not the rivers. Please do read up on this. So, but the important point here is the issue of water for Pakistan. And that is why India is in a way in an advantageous position, because all the water, all the river, major river of Pakistan passes through Pakistan, and Pakistan fears that India might, leverage this to its own advantages. So please do read up on Indus Water Treaty. So water is also one of the major point of contention between India and Pakistan as it stands now. And the issue of Siachen glaciers. So in what is this? Well, so far India ga Pakistan ga in 1965, after the war, we signed the Tashkent Agreement, and even after 1971, we signed the Simla Agreement. Adugu, the boundary after the ceasefire lines after 1972 Simla Agreement, it was we referred to now as the line of control. Yes, line of control. So, Masi line of control say we demarcated only till here, NJ9842. As if how demarcate. So the language of the demarcation is that area north of N842. How to define north is the issue. So India claim the Usina to us. So this part say if we India can note say Asine Hive Indian Hive Singapore, that note should go along this line. Pakistan Hive it should go along this line. So this is the different interpretations of the documents demarcating the line of control between India and Pakistan. So India launched an operation in 1980s, 88 exactly. Right now it's not in my mind, but the name of the operation is Operation Meghdut. Operation Meghdut ki makada India get control of almost more than 70% of this Siachen glaciers. And this area was not a very hospitable area with its glaciers. The climate are harsh, so perhaps even I think this NJ9842, yeah, because the ceasefire line was demarcated in 1948, 49, in early 50s by the UN, right? So during those times, they did not think that this area could well become a point of contention between two countries, and perhaps because of the harsh environment, they find it not necessary to make proper demarcation beyond this point NJ9842. But towards the 1980s, so, and this is an important glacier because it is a source of water to like important source of water for Pakistan also. So Aduna, somewhere around the 1980s, Pakistan also was start slowly, making an effort to gain control of this area, and then they started issuing like passes for mountaineers for trekking into this area and things like that. And in fact, India launched the Operation Meghdut based on the information that Pakistan armies, they were purchasing these equipments in European countries, which are to be used for expedition to these glaciers. So we launched the Operation Meghdut, and we get control over this area. So majority of the control of Siachen Glacier is on us now. So this is one area of contention. Perhaps this This is the world highest battleground as of now in the world. Highest battleground में Siachen Glacier है. So now, but the question is why Siachen Glacier is important for Pakistan and both for India. Perhaps first is a glacier, it's a source of water. But the important thing is Karino Hairaga, this Saksham Valley से Pakistan China the Pithokragam Valley से. But India position is the whole state of Jammu and Kashmir is part of India. But Saksham Valley is given to China by Pakistan. And Chinese position is that the issue of Saksham Valley will be decided on as a whole when the issue of Jammu and Kashmir is decided or it is settled. Chinese position never. So, aduna, based on India's occupation on Siachen Glacier and India interpretation of the agreements between the two countries, what is north of NG 842, it comes under India, Saksham Valley. So in any event of settlement of this dispute, India will have a kind of bargaining chip, a leverage in dealing with China, because Aksai Chin, the great part of Kashmir, Aksai Chin is under control by China, right? So India will have a leverage with China with regard to Aksai Chin if we have this Saksham Valley. Sine one. Second, sine Amuka, I think this is the process. Karakoram pass. Because China ga Pakistan ga. This is a high ground, high position, high ground. So this is also a very strategic area because it is located in tri-junction of here Pakistan, China side. And then the passes connecting India, China and Pakistan. So India's presence here is important for the strategic reasons. But their question arises every now and then as to the efficacy of maintaining our armed forces in this region because of the cost. We are spending crores and crores every day, at least even to keep the military presence here. And the reason of fatality, not much of an enemy bullet, but more. We're fighting a war with the climate more than we are fighting with the enemies, that is the Pakistani troops. So this is one area of conflict between India and Pakistan. So the second one is, and the third one perhaps, is the issue of Sir Creek. So internal, okay, I'll repeat again, no problem. So Sir Creek, this is in Gujarat. Masigishina issue se karino hairaga. So perhaps in under the British government during this time. So this was also a dispute between two countries, two rulers in fact. Asi Sindhi Ningthauga, Kutch Ningthauga, Mabani Muraki dispute. So there are two agreements, one in 1914 and another one in 1925. 14 की settlement the boundary से ऐसी की green line से ना boundary होएगा 25 की agreement ना boundary से ऐसी माया की से ऐसी की से होएगा so Pakistan position is based on 1914, India position is based on 1925, and also more than that, as the United Convention laws on seas na high with the if in case of riverine or as this marine boundaries the center line have the riverbed to the center navigable line the best line the boundary say make low so I have a rule of Thalwek rule of Thalwek. Rule of Thalwek as in have the center line of the navigable channel adu boundary on a low so it's more on India side. India in favor is like, but Pakistan Pakistan is not like it's Pakistan, so we don't know they're against everything which is in favor of India. So That is the problem. But the issue is this is just a creek, which is just somewhere around little over 90 kilometers, not even 100 kilometers. So why India border? Why do we even, need to, we should be a magnanimous neighbor and just give it away, because, but why India is holding to this border position is because of the importance of this circuit. Why? Because this place, because if you know, by under United Nations Convention on Law of Seas, we have what we call exclusive economic zone, right? So if this is India position, because the extension of India's boundary is not, will not end here in Circuit. So this line will also go beyond the Circuit and go to Arabian Sea, right? So if we accept to Pakistan position, then Pakistan drew the line something like this, or at least something like this, then we lost a huge position of the Arabian Sea. But this region is rich in fossil fuels, rich in marine resources, energy resources. India is holding on to this position of in Circuit, and also this can be used as the route for infiltration by Pakistan. So the issue of Circuit still remains. It is still not yet resolved. So these are the disputes. India and Pakistan we dispute like majority main issues issue then the issue of terrorism. So why Pakistan started support of terrorism? Because Pakistan has been supporting this radical element since important interrelation between external factors or external global scenarios and bilateral relationship. So US na 1979 da USSR na 1979 da invade the USA using Pakistan as a conduit was supporting the Mujahideens, right? The Mujahideens, the Talibans, the Al Qaeda, whatever the names they go by. The Mujahideens, they were using training the Mujahideens via Pakistan. US and Pakistan together were supporting the Mujahideens against USSR. So in 1989, the USSR withdrew its troops from Afghanistan. So that armed Mujahideen, the terrorist group, the radicalized groups now were transferred to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. The readily available, already radicalized, trained, battle-hardened forces were already available for disposal by Pakistan. Because Pakistan had trained Taubani, Pakistan had support Taubani under the control of Pakistan. So they shifted some of the militants from the battlefield in Afghanistan to Jammu and Kashmir. So why did Pakistan adopted this policy of supporting terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir? Is because I was in 1947-48 the land tawre ngamdre moi Kashmir law ngamdre 1965 the full invasion tawre ngamdre, and in fact in 1971 we break up their country. We broke Pakistan, and then we help in giving birth to new country called Bangladesh. So by this time, Pakistan have realized that it is perhaps not possible for them to fight with India on an equal footing. So they adopted the policy of what they call bleeding India by 1,000 cuts. Aduna Karitore. They started supporting separatist movement. The Punjab Tahanamoy separatist movement support through the Khalistan movement that failed. So 1989, if you look at the rise of militancy in Jammu and Kashmir and terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, 89, 90s is where the time when it takes booms and when it peaks. So Aduna, Why there were situations in Jammu and Kashmir which the people of Jammu and Kashmir did not like. For example, the allegations of election rigging in the 80s, late 80s by the central government. Issues foiling to that is the radicalized element in Kashmir and also the infiltration of these radicalized Islamic fighters into Jammu and Kashmir, and also the local support, the local trained, local militants of Jammu and Kashmir. So when they cannot fight India in a conventional war and severe Jammu and Kashmir, they adopted the policy of bleeding with India with 1,000 cuts. So they started fighting asymmetric warfare. So Moina terrorist groups in the support of 1989. So, and it is still going on. And most of the leaders of Jammu and Kashmir, of militants and terrorist group in Jammu and Kashmir are either trained in Pakistan or Afghanistan, and or who have at least fought in Afghanistan. Then the question is, what are the efforts? Of course, we know that these are all the problems. We have all these problems. Okay, well and good, but do we not make any effort to improve this relationship? Of course, we did. There were efforts, perhaps on both sides, on the side of India and also on the side of Pakistan. Excuse me, please, just 1 minute. I need to go off the tap. Okay, so there were efforts actually from both sides of Pakistan and India to normalize the relationship between these two. Why? Because now we can perhaps ask why India and Pakistan are always fighting, always on opposite side of the spectrum. Why can't we work together? Or why cannot we have a good neighborly relationship? Why? Because they, like people of Pakistan and India, they're almost of the same ethnicity, same descent, almost similar history, languages. The language that is now the official language of Pakistan, Urdu, has its origin in India. So why can't we have this peaceful neighborly relationship with each other? And what we also have to remember that it is perhaps in the interest of both the countries to have this good relationship. Look, imagine investment from India and Pakistan. Pakistan is in need of investment, and then connecting Central Asian countries through Pakistan, or constructing a pipeline. We are an energy deficient country, so imagine a pipeline connecting West Asia and India through Pakistan. What can it do to our economy, and what can it do to the economy of Pakistan? So it has immense potential, but it never materialized because of this conflict. And who is gaining out of this conflict between these two countries? Here, I will say again, it is the external players. That is why when we talk about India and Pakistan, we cannot talk about just these two countries in silos. We have to consider the global political actors also and their geopolitical calculations. So in the history of Pakistan, what we see is that Pakistan is being used, and also Pakistan using for its own interest. History. So you think about it. this is a food for thought. Okay, so if we have this good relationship, then Pakistan is spending billions and billions on military hardware. India also the same thing, but both these countries, majority of their sophisticated hardwares are not indigenously produced, locally produced. India, like, how long has India started? I think the first light combat aircraft, Tejas, indigenously developed, came very recently. So even now, that is not our main fighter fleet. So all our military, the sophisticated military hardware, forget about sophisticated military hardware, even our AK-47 rifles, think about it, or the rifles of Pakistan. All this, who is gaining out of this conflict between these two countries? And also, if these two countries grow economically, when they become a manufacturing hub, financial hub, if the cost of energy for India is reduced, that who is losing it? And also, in this war of influence, sphere of influence between the two or more superpowers during the Cold War period, Pakistan, USA and USSR, and now between many powers. I see that Pakistan say most of the time it gets being used, and also Pakistan also use the superpower call. So that being aside, domestically, these two countries, we have this shared culture, shared history. Of course, the bad blooded history also. But efforts do takes place from both sides. There were efforts from both sides to improve this relationship in spite of all the differences that we have. So in this, what we have to understand is we have to understand the nature of Pakistan establishment also, the nature of Pakistan state. First is Pakistan is based on the ideology of two-nation theory. So, but while India is based on secularism. So these ideological differences do play a role, but what is more pronounced is the military and civil government relationship in Pakistan. So Pakistan, so far in its history, we have seen, I think we have not seen at least three successive democratic government completing the office, because Pakistan history is marred by military dictatorship, martial law, president rules, and all of that. So what happened is, whenever the civil government, the elected democratic government, tries to improve the relationship with India, then one thing or the other happens. So who is responsible for this? It is the Pakistan military establishment. The Pakistan military has a very huge role in Pakistan state. It is often said they even choose the prime minister. The case of Imran Khan, his ousted from the office. They're all evidence to that. So it is not in the interest of Pakistan military establishment, perhaps, to have a cordial relationship with Pakistan, with India. So I'll give you a few examples here. So during the time of Bajpayee in 1999, if you remember, some of you might have remembered the picture of Bajpayee in a bus. I was very small, but I remember those news in Doordarshan, Bajpayee Lahore bus yatra. So efforts were made between India and Pakistan. So when these efforts during the I'm just giving you one instance. Okay, when these efforts were made by the government of India and Pakistan during the time of Bajpayee to build this relationship, not long after that, what happened is the Kargil issue took place. And this, of course, there is a debate as to whether the civil government was aware of it or not aware of it. But the many of the security related literatures or the news that is coming out of Pakistan and the investigative journalists, what is being said is that President Pervez Musharraf, who would eventually overthrow Nawaz Sharif and become the president of Pakistan, the military ruler of Pakistan, planned this operation in Kargil in 1999 without informing the civil government. So that is one instance where when the army derailed the peace process between the civilian government of India and Pakistan. And the second example is, I think, that of the recent one is when Prime Minister Modi visited Nawaz Sharif, child wedding, no? Son or daughter, I don't know, unannounced he went there. They made an effort to build a relationship, and not long after that, the Uri attack, Pathankot, and all of them one after another happened. So what my point here is that there are, and there is, there was, are, is, and will be perhaps in the future of this special interest group in Pakistan, and also some external actors whose interest lies in conflict between India and Pakistan. For example, Pakistan is also being used by other powerful actors, superpowers, to balance India. For example, now you are aware of the recent news about US sanctioning for F-15, I believe, F-15 or F-16. So aircraft के मोइना मुकाबजे के maintenance की average gran hai kadra. I'm not getting the exact word, but just say giving money to Pakistan. उसकी मोइगी fighter jet fleet to maintain the. So why is that? Because during this time, if we look at I think in 2018, under President Trump said, "I'm no more giving money to Pakistan because Pakistan is taking money from us to fight Taliban, and then he is also giving money to Taliban and supporting Taliban. So Pakistan cannot be trusted. I'm no more giving money." That is what Trump says in 2018. So you look at that position of US, Trump not as an individual, but as the president of the United States of America, and now under Biden, Pakistan receiving money from United States of America to maintain its fighter jet. But against whom will those fighter jets be used? India. Pakistan will not fight with Iran. Pakistan will not fight with Afghanistan with the fighter jets. In all, like, it's very unlikely. It will be with India only. So, but why is that? So perhaps it is because India, and that I do a picture of and then look at India and US relationship. Perhaps we were never in good terms as we are now in our history. So in our history, because of Pakistan closeness with United States of America, USA was more in favor of Pakistan. And because of our closeness with USSR, we are kind of in the opposite camp of United States of America. But now the geopolitical landscape has changed, and USA need for India in countering Pakistan, in countering China, and USA need for India in maintaining its presence in, and then sphere of influence in Indian Ocean and the Pacific, and India's economy and India's potential, India's growth, India's capability. We are in very good relationship, in good terms with USA, comparing to what we were before. But in this cordial, good relationship, USA is saying that we will give money to Pakistan for maintenance of its fighter fleet. Why is that? So this is not the first time where the other superpower try to use Pakistan to balance India. Perhaps this is because USA want to give a message to India for its uh, position in Russia-Ukraine war or Russia-Ukraine conflict, and also perhaps to keep India in check, because they would not want a dominating India. Even if they want India to contain China, they perhaps did not want, USA did not want to be the second fiddle, to play second fiddle to India in Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean. So this is not specific to United States of America. This is prevalent and pervasive in all of international relationship, even with India also. India also will do the same thing only. So it's international relation is the only criteria, perhaps the most dominant criteria for any relationship is the national interest of that country. So the state, the nature of Pakistan state, military dominated Pakistan state, always the military establishment always play, to a great extent or most of the time, let's say, not always, play spoil sport whenever the civilian government try to build a good relationship between the two countries. And then that is how it has been going on. So I'll repeat again, the major bone of contention between India and Pakistan now is the issue of Jammu and Kashmir, the Siachen Glacier, the issue of Sar Creek, the issue of terrorism, drug trafficking, all of that, those are minor. So these are the major bone of contention between India and Pakistan. And India's position in dealing with Pakistan is, we will not talk with, talks and terrorism will not go together. You stop supporting terrorism, we will talk. Because as of now, we are not having a formal dialogue between India and Pakistan. We are not even having a cricket match between India and Pakistan. So India's position is terrorism and talk will not go together. Number two, issue of India and Pakistan will be dealt with bilaterally. No outsiders, only us. And then India is, of course, always open to dialogue. So that is India's position now. The main issue of conflict still remains. And what are the reasons for this conflict? Of course, every issue has its own different reasons, but the main reason is the ideological difference, the history of India and Pakistan attitude towards India, or the Pakistan nature of Pakistan state, the special interest of the military establishment, and also the other geopolitical actors' involvement in Pakistan. So, but how? But we were not to only look at India and Pakistan problem. We also must try to find a solution, right? Because we cannot keep on fighting one another. And when we talk about relationship is not all about fighting and quarrel. So we also have to find a ways and means how to develop this relationship between these two countries. But is it in the interest of India that the relationship between India and Pakistan remain as such? If that is so, well and good. Let's keep fighting. But is it in our interest? I don't think so. And it has been the attempt of India to establish a good relationship with Pakistan. And of course, in spite of all the Pakistan nefarious activities like supporting terrorism in Jammu and Kashmir, that support to Khalistan movement, support to all insurgents group in Northeast India like the NNC, IM and the others, and terrorist bombings and terrorist attacks on all part of India. India also has some say in Pakistan, in the sense that, of course, these are not in public domain as such, in the sense that official as such, but at least this is good for us to have an idea. That is why Pakistan often accuse India of, if there is any terrorist activities and things like that, Pakistan will blame India, right? Especially Taliban Pakistan group, whenever there is attack. So even the attack on the army schools some years ago by that particular terrorist group, Pakistan blame India, I believe. So why is that? It's because Pakistan is also not uh, a nation in the very strict sense of the word nation, because Pakistan comprises of many ethnicity and nationality and many languages. There is the Punjabis, there is the Sindhis, there is the Baloch, there is the Pathans. ꯃꯌꯥꯝ ꯂꯩꯕ ꯃꯣꯏꯁꯨ ꯑꯗꯨꯅ ꯃꯗꯨꯒꯤ fault line se India can well use it, like Pakistan is using on India. The Khalistani is called Sikh different from Hindu, Muslim different from these Hindus, and Nagas different from Indians, like, using these fault lines. So India well can also use these fault lines, and perhaps India might also be using, we don't know. But what I'm saying is Pakistan also have these fault lines. So there, question arises: if Pakistan is doing this to us, then Pakistan has weaker fault line than us, a stronger fault line than us. Why? Because if you look at Afghanistan and Pakistan, so if you look following the newspaper, you will. There is even one instances where Pakistan soldier was killed, right, by the Afghan Taliban in the border with Afghanistan. So the border separating Afghanistan and Pakistan is what we call the Duran line. So the Duran line separated Afghanistan and Pakistan, but the people, the Pashtun people, the Pashtun, in India we call them Pathans also. These groups is the dominant ethnicity in Afghanistan. But what we have to remember is that there are perhaps more Pashtuns in Pakistan than in Afghanistan. And the Pashtuns, the Afghans, they did not recognize the Duran line. The Taliban also did not recognize the Duran line. That's why you will see video clips of Taliban fighters breaking the wall and things like that. They have not recognized this Duran line yet. And there has this, and the ambition of a united Pashtun, united Afghanistan, is still present among the Pashtuns. It is not dead yet. So the question is, perhaps, why not India use these fault lines? And then there is the issue of Balochistan, Balochistan, the Balochis. They were demanding like independence from Pakistan. They were fighting against the Pakistan military establishment. Why don't we use the fault line and break Pakistan into pieces? So, of course, these are possibilities. And then this is the fear of Pakistan also, that India would use these fault lines and then try to disintegrate Pakistan. And perhaps this is also something that India can look into. But the question is it in interest of India for unstable India, for an unstable Pakistan? So, of course, Pakistan is trying to make India unstable. Pakistan is trying to create all the problems possible in Pakistan. But which one is more beneficial for India? A stable Pakistan or an unstable Pakistan? So, of course, this is open to interpretation. So why I'm telling you is, when we are dealing with Pakistan, we also need the fault lines of Pakistan, the strength and the weakness of Pakistan also, right? So, but to me personally, a stable Pakistan is better for India than an unstable Pakistan. It is better to deal with one crazy man than to deal with 10 crazy men. So I'm not saying that Pakistan is crazy or other group is crazy, okay, just a metaphor. So why? Because what we also have to remember is that Pakistan is a nuclear state. Just 1 minute, this step again. One day I forgot to off the tap and left. When I come back, the room was all flooded. have to be careful. So, as I said, Pakistan is a nuclear state. Imagine a situation when this nuclear state falls into the hands of the so many terrorist groups operating. More fearful scenario for us. Pakistan as a country will be more responsible, I think, than being controlled by the so many terrorist groups that we see now. Well, but whether that is beneficial to India or not, it's open to interpretation. But the reason why I'm telling you about this is to give you an idea of the nature of the state of Pakistan and also the fault line in Pakistan. Why? Because we need to know the weakness and strength of our neighbors and our adversaries. But like I said, we made an effort, but our effort often led to being derailed by either the military establishment or through the military establishment support of the terrorist groups. But nevertheless, we cannot keep on fighting forever. Effort has to be made. So as of now, there is no formal talk between India and Pakistan. India said terrorism will not go together with talks. First stop terrorism and then talk. That is the position of India. But issue like Jammu and Kashmir, we have been like since 1947. But some suggestions with regard to improving the relationship with India and Pakistan is first focusing more on the smaller issues like Siachen glaciers and then Sar Creek issues. These are not very sensitive as the Kashmir issue is, right? So focusing more on the lower hanging fruit, the smaller issues first, and then build relationship, and then finally talk about the bigger issues like Kashmir, and then like people to people contact, cultural exchanges. Of course, these were all what we have been doing, but not very successful. But nevertheless, we should not give up on that. But what is important is we must keep on engaging with Pakistan, because Pakistan is among the top 10 militarily powerful countries. On top of that, it is a nuclear country, so we cannot treat them like they are nobody. So this is real politics. No matter how much I don't like Pakistan, but if there is need for engagement with them, they should be engaged. So, okay, let me take another 10 minutes perhaps. That is the issue of India and Pakistan. So, what has been done, or what are the steps under whose prime ministership and all of that? I think it's better we read in notes, because those are just factual data. So factual data is best read and memorized. But what is important is understanding of the concept, understanding of the dynamics, which I'm trying to do here. So now, what is Pakistan trying to do to India? I've told you that Pakistan is increasingly Pakistan is still supporting terrorists here, Jammu and Kashmir, and also different parts of India. And then they are into smuggling drugs, supply of weapons, and they're using bases in Pakistan and in Nepal, because Nepal has free regime with India. People in Nepal, like, there is no need for visas. If the border is more porous, the people of Nepal can come and settle and work in India. So Pakistan is using Nepal for its nefarious activities, for terrorist infiltration, drug smuggling, money laundering, fake currencies and all of that, and also here, Bangladesh. So these are the things, some of the things that they are doing now against India. And what is emerging between India and Pakistan is the nexus between China plus Pakistan plus Russia. This is something of concern for India. Why? Because of course remove Russia for a while now. So connection between China and Pakistan has been going on since long time ago. And in fact, okay, fine. I should end the class in 2 minutes also. So what is important is the emerging trend call. So the growing nexus between China and Pakistan and also Russia. So Russia, of course, Russia is also trying to play the balancing act now because we are getting closer to Pakistan. So, right. So what Russia is saying is perhaps giving a message to us that if you do this, I can also do this, that kind of thing. So we need to maintain the balanced relationship between US and Russia. We'll come to that later on. But China and Pakistan combined is concern for us. Why? Because there are two more adversarial countries. We have fought a war between the two countries and we have border dispute between two countries. So there is a possibility of two-front war between China and Pakistan. And also, what we have to remember is China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, CPEC, passes through Indian occupied Kashmir, Pakistan occupied Kashmir area. And why do China want to have established this CPEC connecting with Gwadar port is because here, Malacca Strait, we talk about the importance of Indian Ocean and then Chinese weakness right in Malacca because all the gases, all the oil that is going through to China from West Asia has to go through Indian Ocean, and then they have to pass through here Malacca Strait. So Malacca Strait, we have Andaman and Nicobar Island here, and we have a naval base here, right? And then Indian Army has a strong navy presence here in the Indian Ocean. So they feel threatened in the Indian Ocean. So in any case of war, in any case of blockade of the Malacca Strait and domination of Indian Ocean by the Indian Navy, so as an alternative to that, and also to connect the Xinjiang province, which is not as economically developed as the other region of China, or Moina Asigi CPEC, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. This is one of the reasons under Belt and Road Initiative. So in any eventuality of blockade here, they can get their fossil fuels or they can connect China through Pakistan. And also development of this region and also China, Pakistan. So still question remains whether Pakistan can take advantage of CPEC and develop itself or not. Why? Because in this here, I talk about Balochistan and it passes through the Baluchis territory. That's where India can also play a role if needed. So of course we cannot stop China and Pakistan from coming together, but it remains a concern for India military establishment with regards to two-front war, and also the CPEC passes through Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So this is the current issues with regards to Pakistan relationship with India. So that's the end for the class today. So if there is any question you may ask, if not, you may leave. I'll be here for another 5 more minutes. Thank you for your presence. Have a good day, everyone who is leaving. What is this? Okay.